is the end of the God of Thunder in the MCU coming to fruition. We were all wondering with Chris Hemsworth's message the other day whether his time as the God of Thunder was coming to an end. But now we've got a new report that seems to indicate Marvel Studios will be going forward with a Thor 5. What's this mean for the greater MCU and most importantly for some of its fellow Asgardians? Let's dive in. Well, I'm not gonna lie, Thor Love and Thunder really had potential to be one of the best Marvel movies ever. If you're unfamiliar with Jason Aaron's Thor run, well, it was one of the best runs of Thor comics ever. And this is coming from a Walt Simonson guy who fell back in love with comics during that era. Now, the story not only featured Thor Odin's son, but also Jane Foster's Mighty Thor, and more importantly, Gore the God Butcher, so it should have been something special. Sadly, director Taika Waititi basically made it, for lack of a better term, just silly. And although the movie did do okay at the box office, it really left fans pretty disappointed. Seemingly a universal opinion is that that particular movie made the franchise too comedic, and it was best for Taika Waititi to move on to some of his other projects. Now, recently we started hearing that Sam Hargrave, who works closely with Hemsworth on his Extraction series, which are definitely serious movies, is the top contender to helm Thor 5. But as of yet, we've gotten no official updates. But we do have a pretty interesting update from a Hollywood insider. Now, this most recent scoop about the movie comes via Daniel Rickman. And as we always say, Rickman doesn't work for Marvel Studios, and he's obviously not Kevin Feige, so we're taking it with a grain of salt, but he has been right so often in the past, he stands by his scoops, and he doesn't hide behind anonymity. We want to take it seriously. Now, according to Rickman, Thor 5 is now, quote, officially in development at Marvel Studios, and will be part of the next saga of films post-Secret Wars. Additionally, he noted that Taika Waititi definitely is not returning, and that Thor Odin's son will be getting somewhat of a fresh start. Now, to me, this all sounds great, and honestly, I would love Hargrave to pick up the directing chops, but we'll let Marvel navigate those waters for right now. This is absolutely the right decision, but this could be, well, quite a spectacular move given the nature of Secret Wars. We talked recently about the return of the God of Mischief, who is now sitting at the center holding together the multiverse, and it's pretty clear to me he's going to be a big part of Secret Wars, with us potentially getting that reunion between Thor and Loki. Now, the big question has been, will this be the end of those characters, and will we get a new world from Marvel Universe after Secret Wars, somewhat rebooting many of the changes that have happened over the last 20 years? And I think we're going to figure out that's probably yes to both. Now, I do believe Marvel is going to give us a soft reboot coming on the heels of Secret Wars to kind of just clean up the timeline and make everything fit a little better. But with this, we could see the return of Asgard and many of the Asgardian characters. You know, Marvel had to play it safe when they did the first Thor movie. Many people were really concerned a god from another realm definitely wouldn't fit with Iron Man and Captain America in the real world. And those early Marvel movies were kind of more grounded in reality, making Thor a much bigger risk. Fast forward to today, that's no longer the case, and I highly suspect if Thor 5 is going to happen, not only will it be somewhat of a reboot of the character, or at least a soft reboot of the character, we're going to see the return of many Asgardians that we've lost over the years, as well as potential characters that never made it into the Marvel Universe that fans have been asking for. First one that comes to mind as far as Asgardians go is Balder the Brave, who, if you read Thor comics, you know has been a massive part of many stories and just never simply showed up inside of the Marvel Universe despite multiple teases. I also think with this, Marvel is going to lean a little heavier into some of the other mythological aspects of the Marvel Universe and some of the other gods, specifically the Greek gods. I think Taika kind of really messed up Zeus, but if we have an opportunity for a soft reboot, well, we could either readjust Russell Crowe's version of the character or recast him. But most importantly, I think Hercules is going to stick around, and I think we'll see the introduction of other characters like this, including Ares. And if you read Marvel Comics, you know Ares has been a big part of Marvel Comics over the last 10 or so years. Obviously, Thor is one of Marvel's most important characters, and they're not going to let this one go. I think there's plenty of room for Thor and many other characters that were part of the early days of the MCU, while Marvel dives down this X-Men path. And honestly, Chris Hemsworth's Thor Odin's son has just grown in popularity over the years, and seeing him continue to play the character, along with Tom Hiddleston playing Loki, I think they're pretty much instant box office wins, and Marvel Studios knows that and wants to lean into that possibility. I suspect a Thor 5 will basically be a brother's adventure, seeing the two very popular characters go off on some sort of adventure, potentially facing off with lots of mythological villains, and allowing the Marvel Universe to tell more classic tales that haven't been possible for about a decade. Obviously, we're watching Thor pretty closely. I clearly love Chris Hemsworth in the role, and I absolutely want to see him return for a 5th and maybe even a 6th and 7th outing. How that actually works out, well, we're going to have to wait and see. Before we take off, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and ring the bell for all the updates. We do daily Marvel and DC news, and we want to bring you all the news truthfully and transparently so you're really in the know.